Moving forward, part one. Should I move? That's the big question. You know, I have, since the time I married at 18, I'm now 82, but from the time of 18 years old when I married, I have moved 12 times. I didn't even realize that until I decided to make this podcast. And I, for some reason, start counting it up. How many times I've moved. And I wouldn't think I'm the kind of person who adjusts to that. But I did. And now the thing is, I think I could move quite easily. I think when you have the hardest time moving is when you've been in a home for years and you just have a whole lot of memories there. So the first thing to do, what I did, is I've got a tablet and I kept it just for the idea of moving. And on one column, I wrote down all the reasons, the good reasons, the advantages. I think I titled it The Advantages to Moving. And why I want to move. All of this, all the good stuff. And then on another page, all the disadvantages of moving. That would be your first assignment. Don't jump into the idea of moving too soon. Sometimes the feeling passes. Kind of like buyer's remorse. You know, you look at something, you really want it, and you're so excited, and you give that about 3 days, and it's like, oh, maybe I really don't need that. Done that a lot of times. But, yeah. You know, if you really feel like, if you love your neighborhood, if you love your neighbors, and you're close enough to the grocery store and things that you will need, if you have children and you love the school, and all those things are good, it's just the house you don't like. Well, if you're going to move, stay in the same area. If moving is too big of a hassle, remodel the house, add on, knock down some walls, start updating some things. Now, here's the thing for older people. Sometimes, if your husband's gone, or even if he's still there, and the stairs are getting to be a big problem, well, of course, there's a stair lift you could always purchase if you need that. But maybe you don't need that upstairs. Or even if you're on one level, maybe you don't need all those rooms. You know, you can close the register and close that door. Use it for storage if you want to. Gives you more room in your house. You close off this stuff. It's just, this might even be cheaper to stay where you're at and be close to your church and people that you like than to uproot yourself and have to pay all kind of fees, you know, so that they do take care of everything for you. But you can always, if you've got the money, use it now. That's what it's for. If you want to stay in that home, stay there. If the bathroom is something that, you know, you need a walk-in shower, shoot, get it remodeled. Do that. Just get rid of a lot of junk. You just really need to do that. Next. Now, whether you decide to move or decide to stay, either way, or if you're undecided, get a trash bag and start going room to room and just getting rid of things like, oh, I was going to fix that one day, but it's been sitting there for a year or two. Newspapers, things you have saved. And you know, a lot of that stuff you're saving, your family does not want it. That's just how it is now. As far as heirlooms and things, you know, that belong to your family, if it's something big that you can't really hold on to and you know the kids don't want it and you want to move and that's holding you back, take some good photographs of it from all sides. List it, get it sold, you have a little extra money, let somebody else enjoy it. But I mean, first of all, see if your kids want it, but most of the time they don't, unless you've got someone who's into antiques or heirlooms. But they've had their chance. If they want it, they can have it now. But get a trash bag, get rid of junk. Also have a box of things you want to hand down to family. And then you can have them over when you get that filled up and say, you know, go through this and let me know what you want. Also have a box of things you want to just donate. They're not trash, but you just want to donate them. Some things you can get some money out of. So have a box for that, things that you plan on selling. Now, most people have what they call neighborhood, and it's a place on your phone. You can get an app, go in the app store, and look for the neighbor, you know, for one from your neighborhood. You can sell things there. So that's one way of getting rid of some things. So whether you gonna move or you're not gonna move, you need to get rid of all this stuff. I'm ready to head to my garage this week. Yeah, I think we're getting a little cooler weather so we can get out there and work. I'm going to do the same thing because between my husband's stuff from his previous life and my life put together, we've got a lot of stuff. Here's another thing. Go through your clothes closet. If you haven't worn something for a year, you probably are not going to wear it. Or maybe I'll get skinnier. I'll wear this. Get rid of it. You can always, if you're going to get skinnier, you can buy some new clothes or go to the thrift store and buy a few things. You know, I just did my closet yesterday. But you should do this whether you're moving or not. Doesn't make any difference. And it's the best feeling. One of my followers on Facebook, my subscribers, mentioned that they put all their colors of clothes together. And I thought, maybe I'll try that. And that worked out better than the way I had things arranged. So I put all my white stuff together, but on the left, the tops, let's say all the white tops, blouses and things, but even sweatshirts, anything that was white. On the left side, though, I put the short sleeve. And on the right side of it, I put the longer sleeve. But they're all together, white. And I don't know what the next color was, blue, all short sleeve, blue on the left, long sleeve, blue on the right. But so my closet has all these different colors. And it's actually, I'm finding it to be very easy to find things. And then I put all my black slacks together. I put all my jeans together, brown or beige pants together. If they have a design on them, I put all those together. But it worked out really good, so you might try that. Let me know if you did that. Okay, I wrote down some thoughts about reasons to move, why you'd want to move. Now, I do want all of you to share with me why you're thinking about moving and why you're having a fear about moving, and why you're just confused, but just don't know what to do. And I'm going to share at the very end of all this something I just went through about I'm going through the same thing. Reasons to move. These are the ones I wrote down. If you have others, then let me know. Number one, you're in a bad neighborhood. There is nothing you can do about a bad neighborhood. It just is a bad neighborhood, and it always will be a bad neighborhood. And the neighbors are driving you crazy, and there's kids there that are loud, and things are changing. A lot of the people are gone that you knew, or they've passed away, and you kind of just would like to get out of there. I think that's an excellent reason for moving. I really do. What about if the taxes are getting higher and your city is going downhill? That's an excellent reason to move. How about living expenses are too high? There's a lot. Well, I live here in Tennessee, and living expenses are so cheap. I mean, they really are. A lot of people move here for that reason. Now, taxes. My home is about 2,500 and some square feet. Well, I only pay $900 a year in taxes. It might be $940. I'm not sure, but something like that. I know it's in the nines, 900 something. Okay. Are you too far away from family? And now maybe you're older and want to get closer to your children, or you are having children now and you'd like for your children to be by your parents. That's a good reason, very good reason. You want to move closer to them. And now for you younger people, what if the schools are bad? Oh, that's either homeschool them, put them in a Christian school, or in a good school. Just make sure it's in a good school. And get on the PTA board so you can keep on top of things that are going on. There's so much now. You do not want your children. Once they mess their minds up, there's just not a whole lot you can do about it. So be very careful where you send them to school. I think it's one of the most important things you'll ever do for your child is choosing their school. All right, here's another reason for moving. Shopping is too far away. But that one, well, we always have Amazon, don't we? Or we just don't shop as often, and we can get with some other people together and make a big day of shopping or something. But, that's important. Grocery store. I think grocery store is very important, how far away it is. I really do. I've thought about where they have these retirement communities. If I were to make a move, I would think that would be a good way to do it. Into it where they have grocery stores and the pharmacy and the church. They have everything real close. And they have community things going on. We get-togethers and luncheons and all kind of stuff and parties. That would be great because you definitely need to be, as you get older, with other people. All right, now this might be a little for the younger people. You might be too far away from your job. I think that's an excellent reason to move. I honestly do. Another reason, I need to get a new start. I kind of felt that way myself when my husband passed away, and all my friends at that time, they were married. I didn't feel like, I just didn't know how to go on with my life. And I met my husband online. I'll tell you that story sometime. But I felt like I needed a new start. And when he wanted me to move here to Tennessee from Indiana, I think it's about 800 miles away. That's a long ways, but I've been here now about 3 years. I'm getting pretty settled in here, and I'm learning to love this area. So getting a new start, especially if you're remarried and you just kind of want to make new friends, because whoever you're married to now, they don't know her or him, and they just remember you with your former husband, your deceased husband, your deceased wife. Sometimes getting a fresh start is not a bad idea. Sometimes you want to move because you just want to get away from toxic people. And you don't always have the strength or want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to have a big fight with them. And you're not the kind of person who could stand up for yourself. You just want to get away from it. Just don't want to deal with it. You don't want to have them totally out of your life, but only to visit them occasionally. But they're just too close and you just need to get away. It's a good idea. What if there's just no good churches in your area? I'm telling you, whether you're young and raising your children, or you're older and you're by yourself, or you're any time of your life, the church is so important. So honestly, we've just recently found a really good church. There's a lot of good churches in the area, but this one just fits. And it's important. You need that community. You need other Christian people. Okay, for the younger people, you might want to get your kids away from bad influences. Maybe they're friends, and they are just not going to leave those friends sometimes. Sometimes they're not going to do it. They've got a bond there with them. They might not even know how to get away from them. It's not a bad idea. It doesn't have to be totally to another state, but get out of that neighborhood or out of that school. Those kids are important. It's important who they're with. It's going to influence their life. There's more. If your house is just too big to keep up, and like I say, you could always get somebody in. If you've got the money, get somebody in to clean the house. Even if it's once a month, just to clean things that you can't reach or it's just hard for you. And if need be, once a week. But you could always do that. And like I say, close off some rooms. But it might be you just don't want this big house anymore. You just don't need it. You're not that crazy about the neighborhood anyhow. So if that's the fact, then moving might sound like a good idea. What about this one? You just want to move to a warmer climate. It might not just be the warmth that you want, that you hate winters. Because as you get older, you get colder. And it's more dangerous for you to be out on ice. And if you're not getting out on the ice, then you can become a recluse, and that's not good for you, just staying in the house all the time. So sometimes moving to a warmer climate where you're out more and you're around people more, it's good. Especially, I would say, if you move into a retirement community. I've not actually done that myself, but I remember going to Florida one winter for I think it was 2 or 3 weeks. And we rented a mobile home in a mobile home park, but it was all like retired people. I just enjoyed that so much and got away from the snow. And they were having a big snowstorm back home, and I'm like watching it on my phone. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm glad I'm not back there. So, and there's some people who, these long dark days, I guess it bothers me too, these long dark days in the winter, it's depressive. you might need more sunlight. And that really helps a lot of people, just to have the sunlight. I got more. Oh, I thought of another good one. You may want a larger home. Now, guess what happened to us? I mean, I was 79, 80 years old. He's a year older than me, Bill is. And we sold his townhouse, which he already had here in Tennessee, and we moved to a bigger home. But we had a good reason. We both still had hobbies that we need room for. Mine, number one, is what I'm doing right here, is my little podcast and my YouTube. Bill, he's a writer. He needs a room to get off by himself. He needs a place for all his books and paperwork and everything. Another for me is I'm an artist. I think you can see my easel back there. I'm still deciding where I'm going to paint. I'm in the sunroom right now. And by the way, I live in Tennessee on the golf course. Where I'm at. But I love every square inch of this house. We cannot cut the grass anymore. But we live in a golf course, so most of our backyard is the golf course. But we still have a big front yard and we have sides. So we just hire somebody to do that. And just recently I started hiring somebody to do like weeds and cutting the bushes. We're not rich, but we've got the money to do that. And after all, that's what the money's about, right? And we're happy here. But if I had to give up my painting and he had to give up his writing, and if we're in a small house and we're in each other's way, but I do my thing. He's in there right now. He's writing a book about me. It's called The Brown-Eyed Girl. So he's writing. I'm in here doing my podcast. And we just came home from church. We ate together. Now we went off into our own corners. And then we'll get together again this evening. And we'll probably watch television together. So that's another good reason. Here's another one. Especially if you have problems breathing or with your lungs, you might be in an area where, especially like in Chicago and different places, the air quality is really bad. You might need to move for your health. There's nothing more important than your health. You can always adjust to everything else, but if you're feeling bad and your health is bad, nothing else really matters. So, moving somewhere where there's good air quality, I think that's important. Some of you might just want to move out of the city. You just want to get into a more peaceful, natural surrounding. Some of you, the younger ones, hate living out in the country or in a peaceful area. You want to be where there's action. You want to go where there's coffee shops and theaters and all kinds of stuff like that. Go ahead. I think that's a good reason to move. All right, the next one's going to be, let's see what this is going to be. Okay, now let's discuss reasons not to move. There's quite a few of them too. Number one, you love your neighborhood. You know, when you move, you have to start all over making friendships. For some people, they have no problem with that. They're friendly and they can get right in there and adjust so quickly. But we're not all alike, and there's nothing wrong with that. You might not be that kind of person who can make friends quickly. You want just your old friends. And I totally understand that. So if you can't adjust to this and you don't want to leave your neighborhood, you love your neighbors, you love your friends, then I don't know that you should move. You're going to miss them. What about if you love your church and you're thinking about moving so far you won't be able to go to your church? Oh, that's very important too, because you also have friends there and all these connections and people who know you and have known you and know your family. You're going to go into a church where absolutely no one knows you. And yes, they're Christians, they're nice people, but they're human and they have their little cliques of people. And you got to learn to break into that. Or you either become part of it, which I have done that, or you start making your own little group of maybe new people. What about the idea that you don't want to get rid of your stuff? Maybe you have a lot of collections and things that you just don't want to get rid of. And you would be very unhappy if you had to get rid of them. I suppose with me, mine was all my art supplies and stuff. But I was able to bring them with. Some of you might be in a position where you just can't afford to move. That's understandable. You might hold off on that till maybe there's a time in your life that you can't afford it. Moving is very expensive. You're talking about the movers and there's so much. You got to really count the cost of moving. So it has to be a good reason, not just, I want to move, just have a different house. You only think about it. Another reason you might not want to move is if where you're at right now, the taxes are cheaper. And everything, in your area, it's just cheaper to live where you're at. I know sometimes thinking about moving to a warmer climate sounds good, but it might be your taxes are going to be higher there. Well, maybe you'll find they're cheaper. You might not want to leave family. And that's totally understandable. My parents, of course, are gone, and both of my brothers have passed on. And my sister moved to Florida. And so I didn't have a whole lot. I had grown grandchildren, but they're a little scattered too. And they have their own lives. So that wasn't holding me back. But it could hold you back if you're very close to family and you got brothers and sisters, and your children will have cousins to play with, lifelong friends, aunts and uncles, grandparents. If you have all that, really think about that. That's a treasure if you have all that. Or just good friends, lots of couples of good friends. You might not want to move because of that. You might be thinking, my house is paid for, and if I move, still don't think I'm going to have enough money to purchase another home and I'll be free and clear of a mortgage. Do you want to get back into a mortgage again? That's another thought. Well, you will lose contact with people also when you move. Family and friends. They'll always be your friend. You always love them. But you don't have that day-to-day life with them. You start, now with me, I've got my own life here. Like with my sister and I now, I've got a lot of friends and people I know here that she doesn't know them, so it's no interest to her about these people. Now she's met all new people in her neighborhood and things. I don't know them. I don't have a lot of interest in them. So pretty soon, all of your interest just starts fading out. It'll make it hard. So that's something to think about. So my questions before I go. Oh, the last line I was going to say is with moving, out of sight, out of mind sometime with friends and people. It's the truth. So those would be the reasons not to move. But in help of that, if where you're at right now, you feel like you can't afford it, but you'd like to stay, this is not for everybody. But if you have a friend who's going through the same thing, have you considered renting a room to her and sharing your home with her? Not everybody can do that. Not every personality can do that. But if you've got someone that you just get along with so well and you'd like to do things together and you got a lot in common, you could share. I mean, my goodness, everything would be half for you. You might try that. Or like I said before, try remodeling your house to get it where you want it. I think I've covered most of that. Yeah. And where you're at right now, declutter, declutter, declutter. Please do that. Downsize and declutter. Because whether you're going to stay or you're going to move, it'll be done. It's going to be easier if you pass on for your children. It's going to be easier if you decide to move. It's going to be easier for you to clean. Mentally, it's going to be better for you. You're going to feel better mentally when you got everything cleaned up. So, my question now to both of you, this is for all of you. Would you do this for me? Would you share with me if you are considering a move right now and why? Why are you moving? If you wouldn't mind sharing that. My second question, have you ever regretted a move and why? This might help other people. And I think I got one more thing I'm going to share with you. I have tossed this around in my mind so much. I don't know if it was worried or I'm considering thinking about it. And I know it's all to do with age. I'm 82, my husband's 83. We're at that stage in our life that we talk about this. We don't know who's going to go first. We don't. Usually, the husband goes first, usually. Face it. A woman lives 8 years longer on average. But we don't know. We still don't know. But I keep thinking, if something happened to him, to my husband, Bill, if something happened to him, would I stay here? And oh my goodness, the tossing back and forth, where I would go, what I would do. It was just on my mind all the time. I don't think I was fearful. I was unsettled, just unsettled in my mind about what I wanted to do. I think I'm a planner, and then once I make a plan for the future, then I just forget about it. But, one day it just, I know it's no revelation to you, but it just was to me. This is not my life. See, I'm a Christian and I've turned my life over to the Lord totally. And he says the Word of God says he's got good plans for me, not to harm me, but to help me and to bless me. He knows my past. He knows my present life. He knows my future. He's got it all in the palm of his hand, and he loves me and cares for me. And I've yielded to him. Well, if I'm his servant, and I am, if I'm his servant, why am I making these decisions and these judgments about my future? Hey, I'm his servant. He has already made a plan for me. He's decided where I should live, what I should do. Everything that's going to happen, he knows already, and he's going to take care of me. But I was thinking it was my decision about what I was going to do, that I had to make this decision. And then when I thought about, no, I'm his servant. He's the boss. When that time comes, he'll make a way for me, and I'll know what to do. I know that's no revelation to you, but I don't know, something about it just hit me, and it helped me so much. I hope it helps you guys too. All right, make sure you tell me whether if any of this helped you, whether you're going to move or you're not going to move, whether you moved and you regretted it, or you moved and you're happy about it, and it was the best thing you ever did. So I'm going to be waiting to hear from you. Okay. I love all of you. God bless you. And remember, you make sure you turn all these decisions over to the Lord. Ask him to help you make the right decision. Bye now.